So go back through these pages and work through some of the examples and the guided practice so that you're solid in these types of problems. Now, understand these types of problems get harder. Not necessarily in this class. In this class, this is the introduction, and you have one-step problems. In Math 20, you have these kinds of problems too, but they're two-step problems, or three-step problems, or heaven forbid, four-step problems. But there's a lot of things to set up. And if you got through this class just looking at it and multiplying or dividing, you're not going to know how to set them up when they get harder. I am asking you this time to set them up like this, so that you know that you can do it, so that when you get to Math 20, you're not going to fall on your face. When you get to Math 20, you're going to know what you're doing. Okay? Do it the hard way. Teach yourself while it's easy. Don't take the easy way out now, because you're going to be hurting yourself in the long run. Okay? Trust me. Because you have to convert 28 cups to pints right now. But what happens when you have to tell me if you're going 27 miles per hour, how many inches per second are you going? Well, you have to convert miles to feet, and then feet to inches, and an hour to minutes, and minutes to seconds. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 conversions, not just one. It is going to get more complicated. You will need to be able to set these up. So please take some time to get good at it now. So, last page. You learned how to multiply fractions this section. Last chapter, you learned PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Order of operations. Let's apply some of that order to what we know about fractions. So, the ones that we can work with, because we haven't learned addition and subtraction and division of fractions yet, we need to work out how to deal with exponents, how to deal with multiplying fractions with parentheses. So here's how some of those problems look. We're going to start with 2/5 squared. When the squared is on the outside of the parentheses, that means everything that's in the parentheses gets squared. Okay? This problem really looks like this. 2/5 times 2/5. Please don't write 4/10. Please write out 2/5 times 2/5 so you can see that it's actually 4/25. It's really easy to say, oh, that's 4. And if that's 4, then that's 10. Very, very easy mistake to make. Write out your problem so that you can see it and hopefully multiply instead of add. Okay? How about this problem? Here, I'm going to take this and square it, and then, because I do the parentheses first and the exponents first, and then I'm going to multiply it by 6 times 7. This problem actually looks like this. 1/3 times 1/3 times 6/7. And I have to multiply all of these. I get to cross cancel first, though, and I'm very happy about that. I know that 3, now, cross canceling is any diagonal number. And there's 2 3s in here. I can go across that way as long as it's diagonally, and as long as these all say multiply, I'm good. Now, I can't cross cancel anything else. So I've got 1 times 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 times 7 is 21. So this, all put together, written out, equals 2/21. You'll see more problems like this on 2-36 and 2-37. I might have even stolen some of these from that. If you'd like to follow along, go for it. Here I have 4/5 cubed. That looks like 4/5 times 4/5 times 4/5. And now I've got to be able to multiply all of this out. Now notice that nothing cross cancels. That means that while I am going to come up with some kind of big numbers at the end, I know they don't reduce. because they don't have any factors in common. So you can relax about that. If you're good at recognizing cross-canceling, you can be confident in not having to try and reduce at the end. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So my answer is 64 over 125 for that. Oh my goodness, look at this. I have 2/3 times the quantity, 9/8 times 4/3 cubed. Wow. So with PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, first thing I'm going to do is parentheses. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to do 9/8 times 4/3. Well, guess what I'm going to do first? I'm going to cross cancel. I know that 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. I know that 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 8 twice. So now I've got 3 halves. 3 halves I have to cube, because the next thing I have to do is exponents. So this problem really looks like 3 halves times 3 halves times 3 halves, because it's cubed, times 2/3. Well, luckily my cross-canceling skills say, woohoo, I can do that, and I can do that, because that's all 1. And so now my answer is going to be 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 2 is 4. That is my answer for this problem. What does this all look like when I get word problems? When I get word problems that make me set things up this way, I mean, that seems kind of complicated. Make sure to have a look at 2-38. I stole this right from the bottom of that. Jill has a backyard in a rectangular shape that's 30 feet by 60 feet. Now she has a garden that takes up 1/9 of that space. How big? What is the area of her garden? How do I set this up? Well, the first thing I need to do is figure out how big her backyard is. Her backyard is 30 times 60, and I'm going to do that first. Now, I have a garden that's 1/9 of that. Remember, of means multiply. So I'm going to do 1/9 times this. Now I can do it like this, or I can put times 1/9 out here on this side, or I can put it right next to it because that means multiply, as long as I know that I'm doing the stuff in the parentheses first. So I'm going to find this area, then I'm going to find 1/9 of that total, and that's going to be my answer. So I have now set up a complicated problem. Take your word problems step by step, figure out what they want first, and then what's next, and then what's next, and just write it down in that order. And now you can solve this. 30 times 60, well, 3 times 6 is 18 with 2 zeros. Ooh, did you see how I did that? Rewind if you need it. And now I'm going to do 18 times 1/9. And remember, I just have to put this number over 1. All right, now I'm going to cross cancel. I know that 9 goes into 1800 because I know that 9 goes into 18. 9 goes into 9 one time. 9 goes into 1800. Well, it goes into 18 2 times. So it goes into 1800 200 times. Or I can quickly do 1800, 9. 9 goes into 18 2 times. And it goes into 0 0 times, and it goes into 0 0 times. So I can get it by a long division if I need to. So now 200 times 1 over 1 times 1, and my answer is 200, square feet. Because my word problems always need word answers at the end. Now, some of these, it just takes a little experience, a little bit of practice to look at all the different types of word problems there are so that you get comfortable with all the different types. Some word problems you look at and you're like, I have no idea. And if somebody walks you through it, you're like, oh, okay, now I know how to do these kind of problems. And really, you just kind of need a stack of, I know how to do these kind of problems until you know how to do almost all the problems that they're going to throw at you. So don't despair if you don't get it. Ask for help. Have somebody show you how to look at those. Take it one sentence at a time. Figure out what you're supposed to write down with that one sentence, and by the time you get to the end of the problem, you might end up with an actual number sentence, an equation that you can actually solve. Okay, and now we're going to go to the homework. This homework starts on page 2-40, and you're going to start with the vocabulary review, doing numbers 15 through 20. And then you're going to draw a line down the center, and you're going to do the left-hand side. You're going to do the two top ones on the top of the page, and then you're going to draw a line down the center, and you're going to do the left-hand side. And you're going to turn the page, and you're going to draw a line down this middle, and you're going to do the left-hand side. And because all of these are odd, instead of drawing a line down this way, we're going to draw a line down this way. So you're going to do 85 through 90 on the bottom, and you get to skip 81 through 84. Skip these, do all of these. Okay? And I will see you on Monday. Good luck.